For the leaders who are listening to us today and who are on the fence about AI, what advice would you give? Are there any specific preparations or mindsets you believe are crucial for successful AI integration in the business world?
So I'll give you three, maybe. I think one is, I think leadership has to educate itself about AI. I think one of the biggest problems I'm seeing across clients, private sector as well as federal government, is people are waiting for somebody else to give them the answer on AI. And, so they'll task one person or two people or three people in the organization to go evaluate AI and come back and let them know the answer. And I think you're only getting part of the answer at that point, and you haven't, as a leader, truly understood what AI is capable of. So I think leaders have to get off the sideline and get hands on AI directly themselves, see what's possible, try and push the boundaries of what's possible, and drive this thing as much top down as they're trying to drive it bottom up. And I think that's a big missing piece, a lot of organizations. I think the second piece is, and this is still on the get off the sidelines piece. I was talking to a client the other day, a pretty large company in the United States, and they were talking about how they were going to pilot AI for one specific workflow within human resources. And I'm like, cool. And this person's brilliant, like a brilliant executive. But what if that one test case fails? And how do you know that's the right test case? Would failure on that one particular test case cause you to back off of AI altogether? Potentially. And so I think part of get off the sidelines is actually have a plan, right? Instead of doing one individualized test case that's purely organic, taking a step back and thinking about what is my actual roadmap? What are all the portions of my business that could be touched by AI? And let's, from that large list, identify where the most potential value is and have several test balloons that go up to see what works. I think that's a much richer place, but I think it's got to be top down in both of those ways. Leadership's got to be involved. There's got to be a top down strategy and a roadmap around AI. I think the final piece is they got to be careful about who you're working with on the AI front. This is still relatively new, frontier space in the grand scheme of things. We're at very early stages of this transformation. It's going to be hugely disruptive. I don't think everybody fully gets, despite the press, how disruptive it's going to be. But with that, I think come a lot of companies out there who are going to purport to be able to help somebody along the AI journey and are still figuring it out themselves. So I think there's risk out there that you could sign up with the wrong partner, with somebody who says they understand how AI works, who gets you down a very wrong path. And you either don't get your ROI or you end up with a very flawed sense of what's possible via AI. So I think that final piece is much more around partner selection and just a lot of care to make sure that the people that you're working with and engaging are actually competent and can help show you the way versus potentially being obstacles along the